Alex Carter stepped onto the soft, glowing surface of planet Zithera, his boots making light impressions on the alien ground. He had traveled far from Earth on a mission that many said was impossible. Humans had only recently begun peaceful contact with the Zitherans, a species known for their intelligence, elegance, and strict hierarchy. And today Alex was to meet their leader, the alien queen herself. The thought made his heart race. The palace of the Zitherans rose like a tower of crystalline light. Its walls shimmered with colors that shifted as the sun passed through the atmosphere. Alex had never seen anything like it. He had been trained for diplomacy, negotiation, and survival, but nothing could prepare him for this moment. Every detail of the palace seemed alive, from the floating staircases to the intricate light patterns dancing across the halls. Alex's mission was simple in words, but complex in reality. Deliver a peace proposal and offer collaboration between humans and Zitherans. Yet he carried a small wound on his arm, a scratch he had received while exploring the planet's flora. It was minor, almost invisible, but for reasons he didn't yet understand, it would change everything. The throne room was vast, stretching higher than any building on Earth. Light from above created a soft glow, highlighting the alien architecture. Courtiers and guards moved with precision, silent yet alert. At the far end of the room sat the alien queen. She was taller than any human, her figure elegant and graceful. Her skin shimmered like liquid crystal, changing colors as she shifted her posture. Her eyes, large and glowing faintly, followed every movement. Alex's entrance was quiet but purposeful. He kept his gaze calm and steady. As he walked closer, he noticed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The courtiers leaned slightly forward, whispering in their soft, musical language. The queen herself moved with caution, her attention suddenly fixed on Alex's arm. When her eyes fell on the scratch, her entire body froze. She stepped back slightly, and a sound that was almost a whisper left her lips. "This can't be real," she said, her voice filled with disbelief. It was the first time anyone had ever heard her speak like this. Her tone held shock, curiosity, and something more that Alex could not name. The room went silent. Guards who were usually alert and unflinching remained motionless. Courtiers paused in their duties, watching the unexpected moment unfold. Alex hesitated for a moment, unsure why the queen reacted this way. The scratch on his arm was nothing, just a minor accident from his exploration. But the way the queen looked at it made him realize there was something extraordinary about this encounter. "Your Majesty," Alex said carefully, bowing slightly. "It's only a small wound. I assure you it is not dangerous." His words were calm even though his mind raced. He had been trained to handle delicate situations, but nothing in his training mentioned an alien monarch reacting with shock to a human injury. The queen's eyes remained locked on the wound. She moved her hand slowly, pointing at it as if trying to understand. Her face, usually unreadable, now showed genuine astonishment. How did this happen?" she asked. Her words were careful, as if she feared that even speaking too loudly could change something irreversible. Alex explained how he had scratched himself while examining the planet's unusual plants. He spoke calmly, detailing the events without exaggeration. He wanted to reassure her that the wound was ordinary, yet he felt a strange energy in the room, something beyond explanation. The queen did not seem to hear his words fully. Her eyes scanned the wound again, lingering in a way that suggested recognition. A murmur ran through the room. The courtiers exchanged glances, sensing the rare emotion displayed by their queen. Some had never seen her show any expression beyond calm authority. Today she showed surprise, concern, and a touch of wonder, all directed at a single human and a tiny wound. Alex, realizing the moment was unusual, remained still and composed. He had learned in his travels that patience was as important as courage. He did not move his arm or try to hide the scratch, understanding that the queen's reaction was more significant than he could yet comprehend. After a long pause, the queen finally spoke again, softer this time, almost to herself. "This mark, it is unlike any I have seen." She glanced at her advisors, who nodded slightly, confirming that they too recognized something extraordinary. Alex listened carefully, sensing that whatever this wound represented was far beyond a simple injury. The queen stepped closer, her movements deliberate and controlled. Alex felt her presence intensely, It was magnetic, filled with authority, yet tempered with curiosity. She studied him quietly, observing not just the wound, but his posture, his expression, his calmness. Something about Alex, combined with the mark on his arm, held her attention completely. Finally, she spoke, addressing him directly. "Human, do you understand what this could mean?" Alex shook his head slightly. He had no idea. All he knew was that this moment was pivotal, unlike anything he had imagined when he left Earth. The Queen extended her hand, not to touch, but to gesture towards him. "Your life, your experiences, they may hold a connection our people have only read about in legends," she said carefully. Her words were cryptic, yet they carried weight. Alex's curiosity piqued. Legends, what did she mean? He nodded slowly, indicating that he was ready to learn. The courtiers and guards remained at a respectful distance, leaving the room quiet except for the soft, almost musical hum of the palace itself. Alex realized that this meeting, which had begun as a diplomatic formality, had transformed into something far greater. The Queen's eyes remained on the wound for several more moments before she finally spoke again. "This mark, it is a sign," she said softly, "a sign that is not meant to be ignored." Alex, unsure what to say, simply listened, knowing that every word from her was important. In that moment, Alex understood that his mission was no longer just about diplomacy. His small, seemingly insignificant injury had caught the attention of the most powerful being on the planet, and somehow that scratch, a simple human wound, could change everything between their worlds. As the first part of their encounter came to a close, the Queen stepped back and motioned for him to follow her deeper into the palace. Alex felt a mixture of anticipation and awe. He knew that the journey ahead would reveal secrets, challenges, and discoveries he could never have imagined. And all of it had begun with a single tiny wound, one that made the alien queen freeze and whisper words that would stay with him forever. "This can't be real." Alex followed the alien queen through the grand halls of her palace. Every step seemed to echo softly, though the walls themselves hummed with a strange, gentle vibration. He had seen many magnificent structures in his life, but nothing compared to this. Light shimmered across the crystalline walls, forming patterns that seemed almost alive, changing shape as they moved along the corridor. The Queen walked with poise, her attention fixed on Alex's arm. She did not speak for several moments, as if carefully considering every step, every word she might say next. Alex sensed her curiosity, but he also noticed caution. She was aware that this was a delicate situation, one that could affect her entire civilization. Finally, they reached a chamber filled with instruments and glowing panels that Alex did not recognize. It was clearly a place for study and observation, not ceremony. The Queen gestured for him to stand in the center. "This is where we examine phenomena," she said. Her voice was calm now, but the trace of wonder from their first encounter remained. "Your mark. It is unique. We must understand it." Alex nodded. He felt nervous but also excited. All his training had prepared him for diplomacy, negotiation, and problem-solving. But this was something entirely new. He rolled up his sleeve to show the scratch more clearly. Though it looked ordinary to him, he noticed that the Queen's eyes lingered longer than anyone's should. There was something about the way she studied it that made his heart beat faster. The Queen moved closer, carefully observing the wound without touching it. "Legends speak of a mark that carries the energy of a world," she said slowly, almost to herself. "A connection between life forces. No human has ever been seen with it." Alex's curiosity deepened. "Energy of a world?" he asked. "I don't understand. It was just a scratch from a plant. Nothing more." The Queen shook her head gently. "It is never just a scratch," she said. "The energy here responds to certain individuals. You are one of them. Your presence, your life, it interacts with the planet in ways our people have only dreamed of." Alex tried to absorb her words. He had explored many planets, studied countless alien species, and yet he had never imagined that a simple injury could carry such significance. The Queen paused, studying him carefully. "We need to observe it fully. If what I suspect is true, this mark may be a bridge, not just to your species, but between our worlds." Alex's mind raced. A bridge between humans and Zitherans? He had come expecting to negotiate trade agreements, technology exchange, and friendship, but he had never considered that he might become part of something far greater. As the Queen spoke, A team of Zitharan scientists entered the chamber. They were elegant and precise, moving with a quiet grace. They surrounded Alex gently, using instruments that emitted soft lights and sounds. None of them touched him directly, but their devices scanned the wound and the surrounding area, capturing data that Alex could barely comprehend. After several moments, the Queen addressed the scientists. "Report what you find. Do not assume it is ordinary." The head scientist nodded and began explaining in their melodic language. One of the translators converted the words into simple English for Alex. "The wound, it resonates with ambient energy," the translator said. "It absorbs the natural force of the planet. This is something previously believed impossible for humans. The mark glows faintly under certain conditions, indicating a unique bond." Alex felt a mixture of awe and disbelief. A scratch from a plant, a minor accident, had triggered something extraordinary. He looked at the Queen, who now stood closer than before. Her face was serious, yet her eyes showed admiration. "You carry more than you know," she said softly. "The energy within you, it is remarkable." The scientists continued their examination, mapping the energy patterns with instruments that floated around Alex. Lights traced the scratch in shimmering lines, and soft pulses of energy seemed to flow between the wound and the air around him. Alex could feel a strange warmth, gentle but alive, as if the planet itself acknowledged him. For the first time, Alex realized that his mission was no longer ordinary diplomacy. He had been selected, though not by choice, to be part of something far beyond his understanding. He had to remain calm, show respect, and learn everything he could from this rare connection. The Queen spoke again, her voice steady. "This energy, it may allow humans and Zitharans to understand each other in ways that words cannot. It could lead to a partnership stronger than anything we have attempted before." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He had always dreamed of building connections across species, but he had never imagined it could happen in this way. Several hours passed as the scientists studied the energy and recorded their findings. Alex remained patient, allowing them to work, answering their questions about his experiences, habits, and even how he felt about the planet. The Queen observed silently, occasionally asking questions herself. Each time Alex answered honestly, knowing that transparency was key to trust. Finally, the head scientist looked up and addressed the Queen. "We have never seen this before. The human's mark is absorbing and radiating energy in a way that could help bridge understanding between species. If we study it carefully, it may lead to discoveries beyond our imagination." The Queen's eyes softened. She turned to Alex. "You may not realize it yet, human, but you have done something extraordinary. A simple wound has revealed potential that no human or Zitharan has ever demonstrated before." Alex was humble. He did not feel extraordinary. He had only done what anyone would do: explore, learn, and survive. Yet the Queen's words made him realize that sometimes small actions could lead to immense consequences. As the day ended, the Queen invited Alex to a private chamber. There, she explained more about the legends connected to the mark. According to ancient Zitharan texts, a human carrying this energy could form a living connection with the planet, sensing its life force and communicating indirectly with Zitharans through shared energy. Such a bond could bring peace, understanding, and collaboration that no treaties or agreements could achieve alone. Alex listened intently. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders, but so did a sense of purpose. He realized that his life, his mission, and even this minor wound had become part of something far greater than he had imagined. The Queen's attention, initially sparked by shock and disbelief, had now turned to trust and hope. By the time night fell on planet Zithara, Alex felt a quiet determination. He understood that his journey was just beginning. The scratch on his arm, once an ordinary mark, had become a symbol of potential, unity, and discovery. He had entered the palace expecting diplomacy, but he had found connection, purpose, and a new path that neither humans nor Zitharans had ever walked before. The Queen remained nearby, her presence reassuring, yet powerful. She had seen the wound, frozen in disbelief, and now she saw Alex as a bridge between worlds. For the first time in centuries, she allowed herself to hope, not for one species but for both, connected through a human who had unknowingly become extraordinary. The next morning, the palace of Zithara glimmered softly under the planet's twin suns. Alex Carter awoke to the gentle hum of the structure around him. The previous day's events replayed in his mind. The way the alien queen had frozen at, the sight of his wound, the glow of energy around the scratch, and the scientist's astonishment. He felt a mixture of awe, curiosity, and responsibility. He had never imagined that a simple mark could hold such significance. The queen had requested a private meeting at sunrise. Alex prepared himself, knowing that each encounter was more than a discussion. It was a step into understanding something extraordinary. As he walked through the palace halls, he noticed the subtle signs of activity. Courtiers whispering softly, guards observing respectfully, and instruments quietly scanning the surroundings. Everyone seemed aware that today was important. When he entered the chamber, the queen was already there, standing near a window that overlooked the planet's vast landscapes. Her eyes, usually steady and commanding, now reflected a rare uncertainty. She turned to him with a graceful gesture. "Alex," she said softly, "we must speak openly. What I saw yesterday, it cannot be ignored." Alex nodded. "Your Majesty, I am ready to understand," he replied, his voice calm. He could see that she was weighing her words carefully. There was a tension in the room, not of danger, but of curiosity and possibility. The queen walked closer, her gaze fixed on the wound that had sparked so much attention. "This mark is unlike anything we have ever encountered," she said. "Legends speak of humans who can carry the life force of a planet within them. I had thought it was only myth. Yet now, I see it before me." Her voice was a mixture of awe and concern. "Do you understand the weight of this connection?" Alex shook his head. "I do not, Your Majesty. I only know it appeared after a small scratch from the plants I was studying. Nothing else." He extended his arm slightly, showing the mark again. The queen observed it silently, as if trying to decipher a secret written in the patterns of his skin. She walked to a console at the side of the chamber and activated a holographic display. Symbols and glowing lines filled the space, representing the planet's energy flows. "See this?" she asked, pointing to the pulsing currents. "They respond to your presence. Your energy, your life, interacts with Zithra in a way no human ever has. It is both fascinating and troubling." Alex watched the display, feeling the faint warmth emanating from his arm. It was subtle, gentle, and alive. He could sense a connection to the planet, though he did not yet understand its full meaning. "So this scratch, it is a bridge?" he asked. The queen nodded slowly. "Yes," she said. "A bridge between humans and Zithrans. If we are cautious, if we study it carefully, it could bring our worlds together in ways words alone cannot. But it is also a responsibility. Such energy must be handled with care. Misunderstanding could cause fear, confusion, or even harm." Her eyes, normally so composed, held a flicker of worry. "I must decide how to proceed, Alex. I cannot act lightly." Alex felt the weight of her words. He had traveled across the stars to build peace, and now he realized that the peace depended not on negotiations alone, but on a bond neither species had ever experienced. "I will follow your guidance, Your Majesty," he said. "I want to help in any way I can." The queen studied him, her expression softening. "Your honesty and courage matter more than you know," she said. "It is rare for humans to show such calm and respect in situations like this. You do not yet realize how extraordinary you are." She paused, then gestured for him to sit. "Alex, I face a dilemma. This energy within you, it is powerful, not in the way of destruction, but in the way of connection. It can unite us, help us understand each other, and perhaps prevent conflicts we cannot even foresee. But if others learn too soon, if fear spreads, it could create tension, even panic. I must decide how much to reveal, and when." Alex nodded thoughtfully. "I understand. I trust your judgment, Your Majesty. I will not act without your guidance." The queen's lips curved into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. Trust was rare in her world, yet she felt it growing toward this human. Hours passed as they discussed the possibilities. The queen explained the ancient legends, stories, of humans with unique connections to other worlds and how Zitherans had long sought to understand these mysteries. Alex asked questions, learning not only about Zithera but also about the careful balance of energy that sustained its life. Each answer made him realize how fortunate he was to be here, to witness and participate in something that might change history. The Queen observed him carefully. "Do you feel the energy?" she asked suddenly. Alex looked down at his arm. He did feel something, a gentle warmth, a pulse in rhythm with the planet itself. "Yes," he said quietly. "It feels alive. Not painful, not strange, just connected." She nodded. "Exactly. And that connection, it is rare, almost impossible. You carry a living bond that can teach both our peoples, but we must proceed with patience, care, and understanding. You will be the key to knowledge, not a weapon." Her voice was firm yet reassuring. Alex felt a mixture of humility and determination. He realized that his role was larger than any mission he had undertaken before. The scratch, once an ordinary injury, had revealed potential that could build bridges between worlds. He had become part of a story far bigger than himself. The Queen stood, moving closer to the window and gazing at the horizon. "I have never faced a choice like this," she said softly. "To trust a human fully, to let you carry something so important. It is both frightening and necessary." She turned back to him, her eyes steady. "You have shown that you are worthy of this trust, but we must be cautious. Our peoples must learn gradually. Understanding takes time." Alex nodded. He felt a deep sense of respect for the Queen, who balanced wisdom, caution, and curiosity so gracefully. He also felt a quiet excitement. The future held possibilities he had never imagined, and he was ready to face them. As the suns of Zithera began to descend, casting long, shimmering shadows across the palace, the Queen gestured for Alex to stay. "Rest now," she said. "Tomorrow we will begin the careful study of your connection. Together we may discover what has never been known before." Alex sat quietly, reflecting on the day's revelations. The wound on his arm, once insignificant, had become the catalyst for trust, curiosity, and potential unity. The Queen, who had frozen at first sight, now looked to him not with fear but with hope. In the quiet of the chamber, Alex understood that he was no longer just an explorer or diplomat. He had become a bridge, a symbol of possibility. And as the twin suns set painting the skies with colors he had never seen on Earth, he felt a quiet determination. He would honor this trust, learn what he could, and help both humans and Zitherans understand the extraordinary bond that had begun with a single, unexpected wound. The Queen, standing tall and thoughtful, watched him. She had faced her dilemma, considered the risks, and decided to act carefully. Together, human and Queen would explore this connection step by step, discovering the potential for understanding and unity that neither species had ever imagined. And in that quiet, glowing chamber, both human and alien sensed the beginning of something new, a journey of trust, learning, and hope that would change their worlds forever. The following morning, the palace of Zithera was filled with a soft golden light. Alex Carter entered the chamber where the Queen had summoned him. Today felt different. The air seemed charged, not with danger but with anticipation. He sensed that something important was about to be revealed. The Queen stood near a set of devices he had seen before, instruments that floated silently and emitted faint pulses of light. Her expression was serious, yet there was an unmistakable spark of curiosity in her eyes. "Alex," she said, her voice calm but firm, "today you will understand what your mark truly is and why it has caused such astonishment." Alex felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. For days, he had wondered why a simple scratch had captured the attention of the most powerful being on this planet. He had listened to legends, observed the energy, and learned that his presence was unusual. But he still did not fully understand the depth of it. The Queen gestured toward the instruments. "We have prepared for this moment carefully. Our scientists have calibrated the devices to trace the energy within you and its connection to Zithera. You must remain still and allow them to work." Alex nodded. He extended his arm, showing the mark clearly. The scientists moved around him with precision, activating holographic displays and energy scanners. Soft lights traced the lines of the scratch, revealing intricate patterns Alex could never have imagined. The scratch, which had seemed ordinary to him, now appeared to pulse with life, sending gentle waves outward into the chamber. The Queen watched closely, leaning forward slightly.
"The energy you carry," she said, "is unlike anything we have ever observed."
"It is not just a reaction to the planet, it is a resonance. Your life force interacts with Zithra itself. You are connected to its energy in a way that no human has been before." Alex felt a warmth spread from the wound, gentle but noticeable. It was as if the planet itself was reaching out, recognizing him. He tried to remain calm, yet a sense of wonder filled him.
"So, this is real?"
he asked. "This connection?" The Queen nodded. "Yes," she said. "Real, undeniable, and extraordinary. Your wound, though small, has activated a natural bond. It draws energy from Zithra and channels it through you. It is a living bridge between our worlds." The scientists worked silently, their instruments tracing the energy patterns, projecting them into the air as glowing streams of light. The Queen's eyes followed each pulse, her expression a mixture of awe and careful thought. "See how it moves?" she said. "The energy flows in harmony with you. It listens to your heartbeat, your presence, your calm. This is not random, it is deliberate, purposeful. You are part of Zithra now in a way no human has ever been." Alex watched the display, trying to comprehend what he saw. The streams of light seemed to respond to him, pulsing gently when he breathed, shifting when he moved slightly, yet always remaining connected. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, and humbling. The Queen approached him slowly, her hand hovering near his arm without touching. "I have never witnessed such a phenomenon," she said softly. "For centuries we have studied our legends, hoping to understand humans and their potential. And now, you embody what we have only dreamed of." Alex felt a mix of pride and humility. He had never sought attention or recognition. He had come to Zithra with the goal of understanding, of building friendship and trust. And yet, this small wound had revealed something far beyond his expectations, a living symbol of unity and potential. The scientists continued their work, but the Queen now spoke directly to Alex. "You must understand the importance of what is happening. This energy, this connection, could allow humans and Zithrans to communicate and understand each other in ways words cannot. It could prevent conflicts, foster collaboration, and strengthen bonds that have never existed before." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "I will do everything I can to honor this trust, Your Majesty," he said. "I never expected this, but I will learn and I will help." The Queen's gaze softened. "Your humility is rare, human. It complements the power of this connection. You are not only extraordinary because of the energy, but because of your character. You are calm, respectful, and thoughtful. That makes you the right person to carry this mark and explore its potential." Hours passed as the scientists analyzed the energy, and the Queen observed quietly. Each pattern, each pulse revealed more about the connection between Alex and Zithra. The energy seemed to respond not only to him, but also to the environment, the instruments, and even the presence of others in the room. It was delicate, harmonious, and alive. Finally, the head scientist looked at the Queen. "The connection is stable and strong," he said through the translator. "We believe it could serve as a model for understanding human-alien bonds. If guided carefully, it could allow communication and cooperation beyond what was previously possible." The Queen nodded. She turned to Alex. "You see, human, this is why your mark is so extraordinary. It is not simply a wound, it is a bridge, a living connection that could change how our worlds interact. We must treat it with care, study it with respect, and learn from it. You are part of something historic." Alex looked down at his arm. The scratch no longer seemed small or insignificant. It was luminous in its own way, a gentle reminder of the role he now played. He felt a sense of purpose growing inside him, a quiet determination to do what was right. The Queen's expression softened further. "You may rest now, Alex. Tomorrow we will begin teaching you to understand and control the energy. You will learn how to sense it, guide it, and communicate through it. This is the first step toward building a bridge between humans and Zithrans." Alex nodded. He felt a mixture of anticipation and readiness. The wound had been an accident, a A small mishap during exploration, yet it had revealed a world of possibilities. He understood now that every action, no matter how small, could have profound consequences. As he left the chamber to rest, the Queen watched him from a distance. She had witnessed the truth behind the wound, the energy, the connection, the extraordinary potential. Her initial shock had transformed into admiration, hope, and trust. This human who had walked into her palace with nothing but a small injury had become a key to understanding peace and collaboration. The suns of Zithra were setting, casting long, warm shadows across the palace. The glowing streams of energy around Alex's wound seemed to shimmer even more brightly, a symbol of life, connection, and possibility. The Queen remained in her chamber, thoughtful yet confident. She had seen the truth, and she knew that together, human and Zithran could achieve something remarkable. Alex, unaware of the full depth of the Queen's thoughts, felt a quiet sense of purpose. He had never imagined that a single scratch could bring him to this moment, standing at the threshold of history. But now he understood. This wound was more than a mark. It was a key, a bridge, and a beginning. And so, as the night fell softly over the glowing palace, both human and Queen sensed the extraordinary journey ahead. A journey of trust, learning, and unity, guided by a simple wound that had revealed the true potential of connection between worlds. The following morning, the palace of Zithra glowed softly in the light of the twin suns. Alex Carter awoke with a quiet sense of purpose. For days he had been learning about the extraordinary energy flowing through the mark on his arm. Guided by the alien Queen and her scientists, today felt different. Today he understood that the small scratch that had once seemed unimportant was now a symbol of trust, hope, and connection. He made his way to the throne room where the Queen had summoned him. The chamber shimmered with gentle light as if celebrating the moment itself. Courtiers and scientists moved with quiet anticipation, sensing the importance of the day. Alex felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. He knew that what was about to happen could change the future of both humans and Zitherans. The Queen stood at the center, regal and calm, her eyes reflecting a soft glow. She looked at Alex, her gaze steady yet warm. "Alex," she said, her voice carrying authority and care, "the energy within you has been studied, understood, and respected. You have shown patience, courage, and wisdom. Today, we recognize the importance of your connection, and we will act together to honor it." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He had not come to Zithra seeking recognition or honor. His goal had always been understanding, learning, and building trust. And yet he realized that this small mark had transformed his life, making him part of something far greater than he had ever imagined. The Queen gestured for the scientists to activate the instruments. Soft lights traced the path of energy from Alex's wound, creating glowing streams that filled the chamber. The patterns moved gracefully, pulsing in harmony with the planet's life force. Courtiers watched in awe, recognizing that this was more than science, it was a living connection, a symbol of unity. "See this," the Queen said, her voice calm but filled with wonder. "This energy represents understanding, communication, and collaboration. It shows us what is possible when two worlds respect and learn from each other. Alex, you have become a living bridge between humans and Zitherans." Alex felt a warmth spread from the mark, gentle and reassuring. He could sense the planet's energy, the Queen's presence, and even the quiet attention of the courtiers. The bond was subtle yet powerful, a reminder that small actions could have extraordinary consequences. The Queen moved closer, her hand hovering near Alex's arm without touching it. "We have decided," she said, "to entrust you with a special role. You will serve as a liaison, a guide, and a symbol of unity between our peoples. Your connection is unique, and it must be nurtured carefully." Alex's heart swelled with humility and gratitude. "I accept, Your Majesty," he said softly. "I will do everything I can to honor this trust and help both our worlds understand each other." The Queen nodded, her eyes reflecting approval and respect. "Your courage and honesty make you worthy of this responsibility. You have proven that even a simple human can achieve greatness when guided by curiosity, respect, and care." The scientists continued their observations, showing how the energy from Alex's mark could be used to communicate subtle emotions, share understanding, and even guide collaborative decisions. Alex watched the glowing streams of light, realizing that this was more than science, it was a living language. one that could help prevent misunderstandings and build lasting relationships. For hours, Alex and the Queen explored the possibilities together. They practiced focusing on the energy, sending small signals and observing the planet's response. Each attempt was met with success, small at first, but growing steadily. Alex felt a deep sense of connection, not only with Zithra but also with the Queen, her people, and the potential for future collaboration. As the twin suns began to set, painting the palace in warm golden hues, the Queen addressed the assembled courtiers and scientists. "Today marks a new chapter for our worlds," she said. "A human has shown us the power of understanding, patience, and courage. Alex Carter carries a connection that will guide our collaboration, inspire our peoples, and foster peace." The room filled with quiet admiration. The courtiers bowed, the scientists acknowledged the significance, and the Queen turned to Alex with a soft smile. "You have exceeded every expectation," she said. "Your presence here, your respect for our traditions, and your willingness to learn have made this moment possible." Alex felt a gentle sense of pride. He knew that this recognition was not for himself alone, but for the potential it represented. A small scratch, a minor accident, had led to trust, understanding, and the beginning of a bond between worlds. He realized that true greatness often comes from simple actions, guided by respect, humility, and care. The Queen stepped closer, her eyes reflecting the last rays of the setting suns. "Alex," she said, "your journey does not end here. You will continue to learn, guide, and help both our peoples grow. Your mark is a reminder that even the smallest events can lead to extraordinary change." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. He looked at his arm, once ordinary, now glowing softly with energy. The mark was a symbol of connection, a bridge between human and Zithran understanding. He understood that his life had been forever changed, not by chance alone, but by the courage to explore, learn, and trust. The Queen gestured toward a balcony overlooking the planet's vast landscapes. Together they stepped outside, watching the horizon. The twin suns dipped below the mountains, casting shimmering light across the alien terrain. The energy from Alex's mark seemed to pulse in harmony with the fading sunlight, a living reminder of possibility and hope. "You see, Alex," the Queen said softly, "this mark has shown us that even a single human can inspire change, create understanding, and unite worlds. We have learned that trust, respect, and curiosity are as powerful as any energy." Alex smiled, feeling the truth in her words. He had never sought glory, recognition, or power. His journey had begun with a mission, a scratch, and an unexpected encounter. Now it had led to something far greater, a bridge between humans and Zithrans, a living symbol of hope and a path toward lasting unity. As night fell softly over Zithra, the palace shimmered with quiet light. Alex felt a deep connection, not only to the Queen and her people, but also to the planet itself. He knew that this was only the beginning, and that the bond he carried would guide both worlds toward understanding, cooperation, and peace. The Queen, standing beside him, looked out at the horizon with quiet satisfaction. The initial shock of the wound, the disbelief and the hesitation had transformed into trust, admiration, and hope. Together, human and Queen had discovered the power of connection, proving that even the smallest events could lead to extraordinary change. And so, as the twin suns set completely and the stars began to shine across the sky, Alex and the alien Queen shared a moment of understanding. A simple wound had revealed the extraordinary potential of unity, patience, and trust. And from that moment forward, humans and Zithrans would walk a path of collaboration, guided by the bridge that began with a small, unexpected mark. The story of Alex Carter and the alien Queen became a legend on Zithra, a reminder that even the smallest actions can lead to great change. The wound, once ordinary, had become a symbol of hope, connection, and the beginning of a new era,